Welcome back. Nova Scotia is officially in an election campaign. Stephen McNeil kicked things off Sunday, and he and the other two major party leaders have been on the road ever since. For 30 days, McNeil and the Liberals will be promoting their record, making the case it should earn them another mandate. But the PCs and the NDP will argue otherwise. Joining us to take a look at some of the parts of that record that might be an issue on the campaign trail is reporter Michael Gorman. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Amy.
Okay, so what are some of the big issues that we should be keeping an eye on?
Well, I think that you have to begin with labor relations. The Liberals passed a lot of labor-related bills, including merging the health authorities and imposing a contract on teachers. Unions have protested, and there could be court challenges based on the constitutionality of those bills. But Stephen McNeil has always framed it as not spending more than the province can afford as it tries to tackle other challenges.
And what's really interesting for me is we've been able to achieve a level of what without asking people to take cuts. Other parts of Canada, other economies that were doing better than ours when we came into government, actually are rolling back wages and laying people off. In Nova Scotia, we just said, let's slow down the growth of salaries and benefits so that to one where we can afford, where the other 70% of the population who are not in the public service, who are helping to pay for all of this stuff, can afford to do so.
Ultimately, Amy, for a lot of people, it's going to come down to whether the government abused its majority and mistreated workers, or they feel like the government did what it needed to do to balance the books and meet the needs of programs. That's certainly how it was framed with last week's budget.
Okay, well, let's talk about health care. That's always a big issue.
It is, and for the Liberals, it all goes back to their plan to merge the district health authorities. Their approach to health care was rooted in that change, and I asked Dalhousie University political scientist Catherine Fearlbeck how we judge the merger to date.
Problem is that they've essentially done nothing in terms of strategic initiatives in key fields such as primary care, mental health care, long-term care, and so we really don't have much to show for the past 3.5 years, and I would suspect that is going to be the Achilles heel of a government going into an election.
Amy, Stephen McNeil says now that the foundation of the Provincial Health Authority is in place, it becomes easier to tackle those big challenges. Last week's budget included more money for doctor recruitment, orthopedic surgeries, and collaborative care clinics. Obviously, the public will have to decide if they're on the right track.
All right, if you're going to talk, though, about contentious issues and the Liberals, I can't let you go without talking about the film tax credit. How do you think that whole issue is going to play out during the campaign?
Of the big decisions the Liberals made during their mandate, this one has had the most time to provide some measurable outcome. Certainly, people have left the province since that change in 2015, and the nature of productions here have changed. But people in the industry say things are getting better as they learn to work with the new production fund. In fact, last week's budget would bring funding to the industry to about where it was 2 years ago before the change to that tax credit. The chairman of Screen Nova Scotia says what they really need now is stability.
You know, we recognize that every year could be different. So we have to promote that stability because it's all about stability in our business. Like people, if they have a series, they have to know that they have a regime, in place to finance that series for 5, 7, 8 years. They can't sort of be worrying about year to year to year, or else they'll find another place to do a series. So it's critical to have stability.
Of course, there are other things that will affect how people vote, Amy, including education. That's a big one. But these are the things, the big issues we expect to come up throughout the campaign.
All right, certainly a lot of things to follow. Thanks for that, Mike.
You're welcome.